But now, meanwhile, it seems that despite the new coronavirus mutation and shutdowns, Israel is waking up to a new change in the aviation market. Israeli supermarket entrepreneur Rami Levy winning in his bid to buy the controlling stake of ISRAIR Airlines. And joining us now to talk about it is Dr. Alex Coman, value creation expert. Dr. Coman, thanks so much for being with us. Now, why did Rami Levy, a supermarket mogul, decide to go and buy an airline?
Well, Rami Levy is the low-cost mogul in Israel. So he sells the cheapest products, and now he has a fantastic deal. He can buy ISRAIR at discount prices because, A, ISRAIR is in big trouble because of the COVID-19 problem. And also Israel is in trouble because of the airport, Sde Dov, where it used to fly to Eilat, this airport was closed. And so the amount of flights was reduced dramatically. So Rami Levy cannot give up on a fantastic deal. And so he's going for it.
Well, and so how is this going to change the aviation market in Israel overall, especially the local market?
Well, in Israel, we right now have 3 companies. The biggest one is El Al, and then we have 2 small ones, ISRAIR and Arkia. I believe that conditions that happened will only enable 2 companies to actually survive. So I would assume that one of the 2 small ones, either Arkia or ISRAIR, would eventually be merged into one of the others. So I would assume that Rami Levy is not such a big airline mogul, and he's not a big expert on this domain. He doesn't understand pilots and safety criteria and airplane models, etc. So my assumption is that eventually either he plans on selling ISRAIR at a good price to El Al or to Arkia, or buying Arkia and basically there will be consolidation from 3 companies into 2.
Well, so, could we maybe extrapolate a little bit further and see if there are any other changes that we might forecast in the future to the aviation industry? Because, of course, we also know that El Al was recently, also reworked into the government in some ways.
Well, that's something that's ironic in the sense that you see people who know nothing about airlines buying airline companies. I personally am a great believer in competency and professionalism. So when somebody like Rami Levy, he's the king of retail because he knows how much carrot he has in every store. If I think about Sami Segol, who is Israel's mogul in plastic manufacturing, he's full with knowledge. When one of these people goes into airlines, suddenly they find themselves in an area that they know nothing about. So El Al was acquired by somebody who made a lot of money in real estate in the United States. Mm-hmm. So he's not familiar with airlines. He's not familiar with Israel. His rabbi told him to buy that. And Rami Levy is a similar example. Rami Levy is fantastic at selling you a chicken for 1 shekel, so you buy other products. And I see very little synergies how we would eventually accumulate your acquisitions in the supermarket to get discounts for the airline. So I'm not for people who are like Leonardo da Vinci, Renaissance people who understand retail and airlines, etc. I don't believe in that. So eventually I think it would end with tears.
All right, well, I hate to go against your prediction, but I certainly hope that Israel's airfare does not end in a tearful situation. But until we find out, Alex Coman, thank you so much.